Okay, these are some photos from my husband's birthday. I'm going to be using the crepe paper style board collection for this, and I'm just got some supplies gathered. These are the photos that I'm going to scrap. This is an 8.5 by 11 layout. I wanted to do that. It's like the plastic where you take the spray and put it on the plastic wrap. So I got some of my homemade spray, and this spray is really old. It won't spray. So I go to pour it out, and it is really thick, and I think the reason is because this spray is probably 7 or 8 years old. And so when you make your homemade spray, you put gum arabic and a little bit of clear glue in it, and I think it just has evaporated a little bit. So it's darker and thicker than I expected it to be. It's kind of almost gelatinous, but I just slog through and see what's going to happen, and it comes out pretty nice. I didn't really like the super stark white against the style board collection because it's more cream. So I got Antique Linen Distress Ink, and I'm just rubbing that over the whole thing so that it'll kind of soften the white color a little bit. And of course there's a little bit of shimmer in that spray that I used as well. So it's got a little bit of shimmer, and the antique linen softens it up to a more creamy color. Initially it looks really dark when I put it on, but as it dried, both the green and the antique linen sort of tamed down. Then I wanted to do some stamping, and I got this stamp from Unity Stamps, and I'm stamping it with excuse me, Onyx Black VersaFine ink, which is super wonderful dark black ink. And I'm just gonna, it almost looks like chevrons of washi tape, this stamp. I really love this stamp, but I wanted to make a border of it along one side, and I just wanted it to be a little textured border. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm stamping it off the side. And if you've never used VersaFine ink, it is perfect for getting really nice detailed impressions of your stamps, and really black. But it is an oil-based ink, so it takes a while to dry, so you have to be kind of careful. And I did smudge it a little bit, but not too bad. So I'm just putting some kind of a triangle of stamped images on the paper. I had to dry that a bit because, like I said, that can smudge. And then now I'm going to adhere my panel onto black cardstock, my background paper. That's what I'm doing here. And I use PVA glue, which is a bookbinding glue that you can buy at art supply stores. It's less expensive than quick dry, and I like that it doesn't dry quite as quick as quick dry. Quick dry sometimes dries so quick in our climate that it's dry before the two papers hit each other, because I live in a fairly dry climate. I decided I wanted to distress around all of my pieces with some black soot. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm going to adhere my paper down, and I cut that in half. I like to use the 6x6 pads. So I took the paper, and it's the Love You paper, and I cut it in half, and it looks like it's one long continuous piece. I like the scale of 6x6 paper pads, as well as the fact that I can get them used up before I get tired of them, or before they become more in my stash. And so that's something I've really tried to make a commitment to. Sometimes I see big papers and I really want them, and then I say, nope, just gonna buy the 6x6 pad. So that's what I'm doing here. And I had originally chosen the green to match that green, and they aren't exactly matching, but they're not as different in real life as they look on the camera. So, and then I'm going to mount my photos on a very thin border of black cardstock. which I like. I think I use more cardstock than a lot of scrappers, but I really like to use cardstock. I like the strips, how sturdy it is, and I also like how it's sort of a neutral base. So, you know, that it's just a little 1/16 of an inch border. It's really small. When I cut it, I kind of cut it crooked, so I had to re-glue those. See, the nice thing about that PVA glue, it does stick really good, but it has some working time, so I was able to pull those photos off and fix them without ruining the paper. And that's one of the things I really like about the PVA glue. Right. So I kind of futz around with these banners, and I wanted to put these little banners up in the top corner, but I didn't want to cover up my stamping entirely. I wanted it to peek through. And these are just part of the cut-aparts from the collection that I made into banners. And I'm just trying to arrange them in a way that is pleasing to me. That one says you're first place in my heart, and I just love it. And I think about putting a little journaling spot down there, but that never makes it. Because when I cut my die cut for my silhouette, the title, it's too big. So I've gone ahead off screen and I took this ribbon that I really, really love and I've been hoarding forever. It's kind of cream and black. And I sewed it down there in waves, and then I created that little embellishment with die cuts from the collection. I got those little bottles off of Amazon for like 6 of them for $4 or $5. They were super cheap. Probably not as neat as the fine line bottles, but they were really cheap. So I cut that title off of my silhouette, or my cameo, and glued it together off screen, because that's sort of boring to watch somebody glue those little tiny letters together. But I love it. And then I'm going to do my journaling. My husband was born on 9/11, so we do a lot to not think about. I know that seems sort of selfish, but it is his birthday and we like to celebrate it. So we do a lot to not think about the fact that 9/11 was a tragic day for our country, because it's a special day for us. And my son was born on Pearl Harbor Day, so we have kind of that luck, I guess, in our family. Anyway, so I'm doing the journaling there. Just saying that we went to Red Robin for dinner and had a good time. And these are some more cut-aparts from the from the collection that I'm gluing down, just words. One of them says fun times, happy day, and today. And not much left to this layout. I just didn't want to fuss with it too much. It went together pretty fast. There's this long skinny banner of hearts, and I just wanted something down in that corner. There's just a tiny little border that I had cut out of the cut-aparts of just these different colored hearts, so I put that down there because it brings some of the colors from the collection down into that corner. And I think about using that other piece somewhere, and I just don't really like it, so I give up after a bit, but that's what I'm doing there, is thinking about it. And considering whether I need anything more on it. But that's done. And so here's some close-ups of the various embellishments. I'm trying to get the camera to focus on that. Just kind of see the stitching of the ribbon and the title. All right, have a great day.